search engine marketing is essentially the process by which one tries to get visibility within the search results. There are hundreds of millions of searches every day occurring within the search engines, and clearly, as a marketer, if you're up there somewhere, you have a better chance of being, getting that prospect to become a customer or getting that customer's needs answered, etc. Generally, search engine marketing is a term that's used sort of as a broader discussion point. And then there's sort of different types of search engine marketing specifically that we'll use, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in defining what natural or organic search versus paid search. SEO, which is a word that a lot of people use interchangeably with search engine marketing, is usually describing the properties of a site being manipulated to make it more search engine friendly so that you'll show up in what are called the algorithmic or the natural or the organic search results. There's all sorts of terms that are used somewhat interchangeably there. So SEM is sort of the umbrella term that includes paid search engine marketing and algorithmic search engine marketing, whereas SEO is usually talking more about the organic, natural, or algorithmic results. One thing to remember about search engine marketing is it's evolved beyond text. People do a lot of image-based searching now. They do a lot of news tab searching. You'll notice that most of the major search engines have these tabs across the top. So you can choose the regular search results, or you can actually choose local or image, or now Yahoo's rolled out a video search engine. So people don't always just use the textual, regular textual searches. They're actually searching more and more for different kinds of information. Google's image search, for example, I did a search for Windows, and the reason I chose Windows as a search query is because it's actually an ambiguous search query. In other words, what do you mean when you type in Windows? Do you mean Anderson Windows? Do you mean Microsoft Windows? Well, based on an image search, it mixed them together, right? So you can actually see there's screen grabs that relate to Microsoft Windows, and there's actually some pictures of Windows there. So the search engine is doing its best to try to show you a mix of what it thinks you're interested in. And this is true in image search and in textual search. The search engine is going to try to guess what it is that you want and then show you those search results. Video search, similar concept. In this case, maybe not quite as ambiguous of a search term. I put in Iraq, and what it does is it takes still screen grabs from videos and uses those to help you sort of understand what kind of video files are available should you select them. But it's definitely moved beyond just purely text link searching. The reason that search engine marketing has really exploded over the last few years, when I started doing search engine marketing in 1995, everybody was like, what? What do you do? And a lot of people still say that, unfortunately, but more and more people are starting to recognize that search marketing is special and important. The reason it's so important is it captures your potential customers or the searchers in a really unique mindset, right? That they're telling you what they're interested in, or actually they're telling Google, Yahoo, or MSN what they're interested in. And if that also is something that you think they would, fits what you would like to provide to those searchers, then you have like a win-win scenario, because they're searching for something, you think you have it. So if you can be there when they're searching, that's sort of unlike most other marketing situations. Most other marketing situations, what you're using is an intrusive method of marketing, right? How many of you have ever done direct mail in the past? What direct mail is you mail somebody something. You sort of hope that at the time that they grab their mail out of the mailbox, that they're somewhat receptive to your message. The search marketing is actually like having a psychic mailman. It's like having a mailman who stood outside the door of the business or the home and rang the doorbell right at the instant that the person had a particular thought in their head, because that's really what they're doing when they're expressing a search to Yahoo or Google or MSN or Ask Jeeves, is they're expressing a thought or interest that they have in their head, and they're sort of raising their hand and saying, this is what I'm interested in. So if you can capture somebody at that point in time, it's very unique. often they're looking to buy, but usually they're at least looking to solve a problem. And that might be a knowledge problem, where they're trying to research something, or it could be actually a problem that results in e-commerce. The only other media that I can think of that has that same kind of psychological sort of attribute to it is Yellow Pages advertising. You don't take out the Yellow Pages unless you've got a problem that you're trying to solve, because you're interested in engaging in commerce at some point in the near future, whether it's finding a dentist, finding a lawyer, or finding the local Kinko's. You're always using the Yellow Pages when you're in that state of mind where you're looking to solve a problem. That's very similar to search marketing. So, having that psychic mailman is really that powerful element of search that doesn't exist in other media. For those of you who've done direct mail in the past, keywords are sort of like your mailing lists. When you rent a list of names in direct mail, that's sort of one of your methods of targeting. Same way in search engine marketing, the keywords are that's your way of targeting the people in this who are searching, because the keywords are the way that they're communicating what their interests are. The same way that subscribers to Golf Digest that you might rent as a mailing list tell you a lot about what interest that person has, that they're a golfer. In search marketing, the paid search ads or the algorithmic results are sort of like the envelope in your direct mail campaign. In other words, you want the person to take that next step. If you do direct mail, you want them to open the envelope or open the catalog. Your website is actually sort of like what's inside your envelope, right? So once a person does a search, finds a listing that they like, which is like opening an envelope, and then they click on it, which is taking out the content from the envelope, that next phase, where you've got something inside your envelope, is very similar to your website, because you can actually fail in search marketing anywhere along that process, right? Because if you happen to have links up there in the search results, but they don't pick your link, that really wasn't that useful to you because you didn't get a chance to communicate with them further. So same thing with direct mail. If you send them the direct mail and they only see your envelope and they don't open it, it's not going to work for you. So you have to understand all the steps in the process and try to get them to take those steps in search the same way you'd want them to take certain steps in direct mail or other kinds of marketing.